Hello, beautiful people. I'm so excited to be here again tonight with another Dream Live chat. I'm going to talk about dream recall here, and I'm going to share a dream with my friend Alexis, and we're going to interpret each other's dreams. So, I'm so excited. Last week, I had to take the week off because there was some crazy energy around, and it was just, I don't know. I've been talking about it a lot, so I'll spare it in this video. But I'm really excited to be here. I feel refreshed. I feel like myself. I'm about 99% where I need to be. And so, yeah, I'm really happy to be here and share. So, as we get into this live again, I will talk about dream recall. I will share some tips. I'll be a completely 100% honest that I have been a bit inconsistent with writing my dreams, which is okay. I'm not trying to make a thing about it. But I plan to get more back into dream work or writing my dreams more consistently, like being every day. And yeah, so I'm really excited. And I want to also share that I'm going to be facilitating another dream circle with the eclipse season that's coming up. So eclipse season begins April 8th. And so the dream circle will begin a little bit before, maybe like a couple days before the eclipse season starts, so we can all get prepared and kind of discuss our bedtime ritual to get set up for the energy that is going to come forth. And yeah, and so I'm really excited about that. And also, I have a dream guide that I created when I facilitated the last dream circle, which walks you through beginning your bedtime ritual, how to perfect or enhance your dream recall, also astrology or dream planets with your dreams and dream genres and emotions and dreams. Like, all the things are in this one guide. So if you are thinking about beginning a dream practice for yourself, you should definitely check out the dream guide. You can access that via the link in my bio. And yeah, so I believe that Alexis is here, so I'm really excited. This is going to be a really fun live dream chat. I can feel it. So I'm going to, I don't know if you sent me a request, Alexis, but I think you have to send me a request to join. Let me check. Yeah, so I haven't received that. So I want to say the tips on dream recall is, it's probably what you've seen before when it comes to wanting to learn how to remember your dreams, essentially. I've always had really vivid dreams. And I tend to remember my dreams, even though at this moment I haven't been writing all of my dreams. I still remember them, and I basically write down which ones are like really impactful. I'm like, ooh, I don't want to forget this, or it made me feel really strongly, or yeah, it was just a fun dream. So the dream that I'm gonna share today is a fun one, and let's see, I think awesome. Is going to also share her dream tips for her dream practice and remembering her dreams. So if you have any questions or you want to even share your tips, definitely feel free to leave in the comment. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Alexis. Yay, I'm so excited. Thank you for joining me again
Yes, of
today. Um,
course. You look gorgeous. Oh my gosh. I love that lipstick on you. I love a nice dark lipstick.
right? Yeah, I was feeling today, like I was saying, I feel about 95% like myself. Because we've been talking, and last week we're gonna do the live. Like, yeah, it was, the energy was really intense. Like, I had a migraine, whatever was going on energetically kind of peaked
Yeah.
last week, like literally a week from today. And I was like, it's really hard for me to cancel anything. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna show up. But I literally couldn't even have my phone on. Like, I turned my phone and my computer off because I don't know, I was so sensitive to technology. And so I'm really happy that I honored that for myself. So I feel
Yeah. You gotta take breaks like that,
yeah,
especially if you can't even have like your screen on. There's no point. You have nothing left in your cup to give other
yeah.
people. You gotta rest.
So how are you? How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I just sat down, got tea set up. I started writing down stuff for today's talk, and I'm excited and ready to go.
Awesome. All right. So as I mentioned, we're gonna, as we have been doing actually for the past like 2, 3 weeks, we are going to each share a dream and then we're going to give each other our interpretation on it. As I mentioned before, the I guess most important thing to remember when it comes to interpretation is your intuition. Like above all else, what does it feel to you? What does it mean to you? Because you're going to look in a dream dictionary, and it's going to tell you what this symbol means and what that means. And then also you can share with other people and they're going to tell you what it means based on, their experience. But at the end of the day, we're considering our own psyche, right? Within our dreams, this is our unconscious self connecting and communicating with us and giving us messages for healing and for guidance. And so, it comes back to you essentially. And so I want to share, in addition to that, I want to share just tips for dream recall. And so for me, or I guess in general, when it comes to dream recall, it is as simple as every day that you wake up, even if you don't remember a dream, just writing down, either, I don't remember, or like you can say, I don't remember my, or yeah, I don't remember my dreams. Although as I'm saying this, I don't know if I would actually write that because I'm someone who's really focused on like what we speak and what we write as far as like affirmations. And
Maybe
so it probably, what's that?
I was just saying, maybe even just write down how you slept, rather
Right.
than
Yeah.
like I don't have like I can't remember my dreams. Just like I slept really good last night, or I slept really poorly last night, because even that can kind of tell, you know, or it plays a role in how you remember your dreams too.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's really important. Just the act of getting up and writing something is like what I'm going for, right? And so even if you want to start to like program your mind or kind of communicate with your subconscious that you want to remember dreams, like you can write down in the morning whenever you wake up or in the middle of the night. It's like I remember my dreams, or yes, it's like every day I remember my dreams more and more. There's so many mantras or affirmations out there that could help you to kind of like program and begin to establish that connection with your dream and your unconscious self. So that's one of the first tips I would say that's most important, is just the act of waking up and writing something, right? Um, so then the second thing I would say is really being aware of like how you go to bed, right? Like the energy you go to bed in is really important. And so I think when you make an intention to say like clear your mind and meditate before you go to bed, you're going to bed in that peaceful state, in that clear mindedness, right? And so it's easier for you to possibly like remember your dream when you wake up, right?
Yes, like even as simple as just having a nighttime tea
Yeah.
routine, like you associate, all right, I'm having nighttime tea. This is chamomile and mugwort and whatnot. It's supposed to help influence my dreams. And sometimes just the act of associating those two things together work in making your memory just kind of like hold on to things. I wanted to ask, since you mentioned, writing things down in the morning or in the middle of the night, have you ever, like, I personally, I have never been able to wake up in the middle of the night and like write it down. Like it's always the morning. So I find it so interesting that like some people are able to get up in the middle of the night and do that.
Yeah. No, it's really, really hard for me. And so there's literally been 2 times that I've done that. And at least that I remember in this moment. And both times that I did that, like I didn't turn the light on. I was like half awake or half whatever. And I just like scribbled something. And when I got up in the morning, I want to say it was on both occasions. And definitely one occasion for sure. I had written over something that I already wrote in my journal. So it was like writing on top of another writing, like, and it
That's
was just
hilarious.
hard to.
amazing.
Yeah, it was really frustrating. So yeah, it's hard. That's the thing. I tend to personally, I would say, lose dreams that I dream like in that still nighttime. Like if it's in the middle of the
Yeah.
3 in the morning, I lose those dreams because I don't get right. And I also don't record on my phone, right? So that's another thing that some people do. They will just wake up and like just voice memo the dream that they had, which is like I think that's a really good like idea,
Oh,
if you
absolutely. I've never done that before, but I feel like it would be a great, even just because immediately when you wake up and you're not thinking like properly yet and you're kind of just blurting out whatever just happened, I feel like there's something really just magical about that too, because I'm sure your memory of certain details will change throughout
yeah,
the day. But I think that would be so cool to be able to wake up and just kind of voice message that or voice record that.
yeah. So J. Carmona, 1978 says, "You said art, so just draw your dreams."
Sometimes
Yeah,
my dreams. I mean, I was just looking through my dream journal, and like some of them have very distinctive drawings. Some of them are just scribbles of like essence of dream drawing.
yeah.
A lot of my art is of like my dreams. So that's definitely an option for sure.
Yeah, so I would say another tip that I've done that's helped me to remember my dreams. So, um, since I don't wake up, like say in the middle of the night and write my dreams, and I tend to don't, like I keep my phone in this room so I don't sleep with my phone. And usually I'll have my notebook next to my bed, but I just cannot like wait. I can't get up and write right away unless it's something where it's a really profound dream and I'm like, ooh, I can't lose this. And so one of the things that I read as far as dream recall is that if you say if you wake up and like you sleep on your back, right, and that's the sleeping position that you have the dream in, right, is on your back. So when you wake up, say if you turn to your side, they say that your dream might slip away, or like if it starts to slip away, if you turn back on this the way you were laying, the position that you were laying when you were sleeping, then it will start to bring the dream back. And that's actually, at least for myself, that's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the things I do when I wake up. If I know I had a really strong dream and maybe I did roll over or something, I will lay back in the position that I was laying at when I had the dream. And then I'll run through the dream like over and over in my head until I get up and write it. Right. So it
Yeah.
could be a matter of just a couple minutes to maybe like even like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But I definitely make a point to just like don't start thinking about something else.
Exactly.
Right,
Yeah.
that then I lose the dream, right? And so for me personally, I think in this like current moment of my dream practice, it's kind of hard because I've been waking up and doing a meditation just in bed upon waking. So it's like, do I write my dreams? Do I remember my dreams? Or do I wake up and do a quick meditation, like visualization? So that's kind of been my toss up.
Well, does doing the meditation bring your dream to more of a like solid forefront, like make it kind of does it help with your memory of it when you meditate?
No, because with the type of meditation that I'm doing, is like I have specific things that I am like, it's basically visualization. So it's like I go into a meditative state or like a trance state, and it's really like this is a whole nother topic, but you want to do this like as soon as you wake up because you're still in that in between, right? And so I make sure like I do it when I wake up, and then what I'm visual, like I'm meditating, but I'm also like projecting like this visual of something I'm trying to manifest, whether it's like a thing, an event, a conversation, whatever. And so it's like if I do that, like it's like I have to pick and choose.
Yeah,
So,
I get that.
yeah.
I guess
So,
like what I was thinking was rather than like a specific type of meditation, the meditation would be just kind of like waking up and just laying there with your dream, like
yeah,
just laying there with your dream for a while.
exactly.
That can
And
be
that's
sort of meditation as well.
is to meditate on the dream, or kind of, if like you're not wanting to write it down right away and you're still just laying in bed and processing everything, you can go into that meditative state, which is like, it's, I don't even want to get into explaining it, but essentially, because I was about to, but I was like, no, it's going to take a minute.
Yeah.
But you can kind of visualize like the scene, like you can basically watch the scene in that state of what happened in the dream. And you know what, as I'm saying this, doing that might take you further into the dream. Say if like it ended at a certain point and it wasn't a conclusion, or like you want to see where else it was going to go, or maybe even kind of lucid dream, that's a good that's a good time to do that and a good way to do that. So
Absolutely. And it's funny, I do love like when I have the time to like lay down and kind of meditate on the dream that I had before I wake up. Like you said, if you roll over, get back on your back. But like if I wake up and stay in the position that I was dreaming in, and then I think about it, I love doing that. But
yeah,
80% of the time, I usually am sleeping as long as I can possibly sleep to stay in my dream, that by the time I'm getting up, I need to get up and get
so
ready immediately.
yeah,
So
yeah,
like that nice meditation time, I don't
yeah,
it's so then my while I'm driving to work and while I'm getting ready, I'm thinking about the dream, but
yeah,
I feel like there's just something special about being like in that meditative state without interruption.
yeah, yeah. So with you, so what's your like your dream practice as far as when it comes to writing your dreams? Like when you would, like you just explained a little bit of it, like currently at this current moment, what's your like practice with the dream work? If you're going to write, or just in general. Yeah.
So it's hard for me to kind of formulate a practice because it's not something that I had to like I didn't have to learn how to dream. I kind of have just been dreaming my entire life. And I always have had one foot in my dream realm and one foot like in my waking realm. And still to this day, like I have that problem. But I would say now that I've been doing it for so long, where like I included writing down things and really meditating on it, I have several different ways that I do it. So sometimes I wake up and I write it down. It's not all the time. It's always chicken scratch and it always is hard to read. But I do it. Like that's one of the things I do. Most of the time I will roll over, wake up and put it on my Tumblr. So like I'll have my Tumblr up, I'll write my Tumblr or my dream in my Tumblr, and then I like start my day. And then most of the time, well, no, I would say like 50-50 because 50% of the time I write it down immediately. But I would say the other 50% is me just ruminating on the dream and really like staying that, having that foot still in the dream realm, even though I'm awake. And I
Yeah.
don't really know if that makes sense. I don't really know how to explain it.
No, that makes
It's
sense. Do you,
just
yeah, it's how long do you are you kind of in that in between, or is it just like
it can
yeah,
be hours. Like I'll wake up and I'll be in that state for like half of the day. Sometimes it's less than that. Sometimes it's only like the like half hour I'm driving to work and then like an hour into work. But most of the time it's like either half the day or throughout the entire day.
yeah, nice. And of course, I had another question for you, but I can't remember. So if it comes back, I'll ask you. Um, one of the things, so for me, and I'm similar as far as like I've been dreaming for like my entire life. Although I'm really upset that personally I don't remember childhood dreams really.
Mm-hmm.
And another conversation because I think that's something I'm starting to realize, that I tend to block certain things out from certain parts of my life. So I don't remember any like profound childhood dreams. But one of the things that I've always said to myself, aside from like, in order to remember dreams, essentially, even though didn't write them down, was that I basically made an agreement, say with my spirit guides or my, I guess, my unconscious self, that I will remember the dream, or more so, I will receive that message in another way if I don't remember the dream. And that's kind of where I'm at right now, because I haven't been writing my dreams as much because of the meditation that I'm doing. And so yeah, that's an agreement that I've made, and I've realized once I started writing my dreams, I've started to see like the synchronicities of my like my dream like appearing in my waking life. If
Yeah.
that makes sense, like it's like my waking life and my dream life, I guess, or my dream reality is starting to merge.
Oh,
I think
absolutely.
once I started writing it, that became more clear. So it's like, yeah, I'm still seeing the messages. That's what I've been doing, seeing those messages in my waking life. But now that I'm making a point to remember them, it's like merging together.
Yeah,
So
there's more synchronicities brought to the surface because writing it down is manifesting
yeah,
it and creating it. So it just kind of, yeah. I love the interwovenness of reality, like the waking reality and the dream reality. I
yeah.
love it so much. It's such an interesting
Do you,
experience.
do you have any Pisces like in your chart or anything in the 12th house? Do you know?
So I actually have a 12th house Libra stellium,
Mm.
uh, and I feel that,
Oh, right, because you're a Scorpio rising, right?
yeah. And
Yes.
the only thing I actually do have in Saturn, I think it's in my 5th house, and it's I mean, Pisces. It's in
Yeah.
my 5th house, and it's Saturn.
Oh, Saturn. Okay. Yeah, I was thinking, I'm just asking because I'm also someone who kind of lives in both worlds. Like, I know how you say, like, you've told me before that you don't really sleep. Like, it's kind of,
Yeah,
like, yeah, it's like like, you feel your busyness in the dream
yeah,
realm.
yeah.
And
You
then,
close your eyes in this one and open them in the other one. There's
right?
dream sense. Like you're just jumping through universes. It's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
And
And that makes so much sense for that 12th house. Uh, I know my cat is like,
I looked
what
up
are you
and
looking at? Yeah. Um,
oh,
so
you're so cute. Stop it.
she's trying to she's trying to love on you through the
Oh,
phone,
oh my
like
goodness.
moving my phone. Thank you, sweet pea. All right. She's so sweet. She's a sweet.
She's so
If you
cute.
hear her though, like she's very shy and skittish. So if you were here, she would hide until like she had to come out. Like you had to literally stay the night to see her because she like if you're not in her inner circle, like it takes her a minute
Yeah.
to like adjust to people because she was like borderline feral when I got her. Like she was like right on the cusp of like not feeling comfortable with people. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
funny
I'm like those
camera,
people.
right?
I was gonna say that I'm one of those people like if I go somewhere where there's cats, I just kind of ignore them until
Oh
they
yeah, yeah.
like
And cats, yeah,
I
that's for
let them take their time. Like I'm not gonna bother them too much. And I love animals, so it's hard for me not to, go over and pet them, but I respect their space. And I also feel like cats get overstimulated really easily and I never want to make them feel that way.
right. Yeah, I love that. So if there's anyone watching, do you have any tips, or the people that are watching, do you have any tips on remembering dreams? If you remember your dreams often, if you write them, do you have any questions for us? We'd be happy to answer them if we can. And yeah, I am. Oh, I guess one other thing too that I wanted to ask, when you start writing your dreams, does it like start to come back even more? Because I know I'll go to my journal. This actually happened maybe today or a couple of days ago. Like I went to my journal to write and I was like, oh, this is only going to be a paragraph. And next thing you know, it was like 4 pages
Yeah.
of the dream and it just starts to come back. And it's really, really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I have that. The other thing, I actually do have another tip that I was going to say, and I completely forgot. Um, I suggest waking up and talking to your significant other or your friend or your boss or your coworkers, whoever you feel comfortable with. Just talk to them about like I love going into work and sitting down with my boss and being like, this is the dream I had last night. This is like everything that happened, and here are all the details and all the things, and isn't this so fucking cool? Like they do it with me too. I highly suggest speaking it out loud with someone around you. I feel like it kind of like, I don't know, solidifies it in your brain.
And it's like it kind of gets your unconscious self excited, where it's like, ooh, they're really enjoying this. So I'm going to start throwing more messages, more dreams, and you start to remember more because you're already excited to share and in the act of sharing. And so I think that that's a tip. Awesome. Do you have any other tips that you can think of right now, or are you ready to share?
I'm trying to think because, the dreaming aspect has always been around, but it's the paying attention to how I conjure it up and how I do these things that I
Yeah,
have before. So I'm like trying to think like
yeah,
what I do. I mean, I did say it before. I feel like if you can't write it down, but you can visualize it, do like a sloppy sketch of it.
yeah.
Like that really like pulls things to the forefront too and like sparks your memory about it again.
And just like you said, write something in the morning like how you feel.
Yeah.
So if you don't remember your dream, like maybe write an affirmation about remembering dreams, and also write, how you're feeling, because that's a big thing too with dreams, with dream recall, or just like dream interpretation. It's so important to note like how you were feeling when you woke up, like how, and if you remember the dream, how you felt in the dream, because that could give you a lot of information in itself about the nature of like the energy that you're in right now, or what's coming up for you, and what your unconscious self is wanting to give you some guidance on as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. So, are you ready to share a dream?
Yes. I mean, I don't know if you want to go first. I like
um, I kind of do, I think.
yeah.
Yeah, if that's fair. This is kind of a long one. Let's see how many pages. One, two, three, four, five. 5 pages. But it's like, I mean, the pages, I write big, and like I said, the pages aren't that small, or that big. Um, One thing I want to ask you too is that how long, like when you write your dreams, when you record it or type it, like how long does it take you? Because I've noticed that it takes me like almost an hour sometimes
It
when I'm just
really,
through my own.
it really depends. I mean, it takes me a very short amount of time to do it when I'm typing it, um,
Hmm.
because to me, it's just like typing is just so much faster than
Yeah,
sitting down and writing it out. When I sit down and write it out, if it's a long dream, it'll take me an hour, hour and a half. Just kind of sitting there because I don't just write consistently. I want to sit and think about it too. Sometimes I have to step away and come back.
yeah.
But when I do it on my phone, it's so quick. It's like a couple minutes.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice. Yeah,
it, that's why I kind of started doing that
yeah,
because I don't have, sometimes I just don't have the ambition,
yeah,
the want, the drive to just sit down and write. Like it really takes want for me to do
yeah,
these things.
yeah,
Um, that
yeah,
sounds
yeah.
bad. Like I love doing it,
No, that's
but it's
good.
hard
Yeah.
sometimes.
And that's the thing, like one of my friends, she'll write it. I don't know if she still writes now, but I know she was writing and then she would transcribe it to an app. And the app Notion, I don't know if you're familiar with it, but Notion allows you to like create certain tags. And maybe you can do this on Tumblr, but tags, and like say if you want to tag an emotion or tag like your dream symbol, which is what I started doing as well. When I interpret my dreams, I'll do it electronically, and so I can catalog it. So then you can search, okay, the emotion, like show me all the dreams with like that are like happy or
That's
anxious.
cool.
Yeah, it's
That's
like total
cool. And
like
I love that because I have, like, if I show you, like, my dream journal, I'll show you real quick. Like, some of my dreams, I have, like, this, like, nice formatted, like, I think it's backwards, but, like, it's all these feelings and topics and ideas. And then other ones, it's just straight to writing. Like, there's
right.
no breakdown. Like, all of the, when I write it down, and I almost feel like for me, when I write it down without doing the bullets first for myself, I kind of am able later to get back into the dream easier by memory.
Yeah.
I kind of stopped doing the bullets, but I think that it would be super beneficial to write the feelings.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely tend, except for the dream that I'm gonna read, I tend to start with like I'll note the emotion, and I'll note the theme. I did that at the end this time, but I always note, of course, the date. I'll note the moon phase, the sign that the moon is in, and then my own moon or period cycle day. I'll note that, right? So I know where I'm at, like in my cycle, like as far as like ovulation, period, like luteal. So,
Yeah,
that, yeah,
that I have to do that more. Even if I like do it last. It's
yeah, yeah, yeah,
like
it's
not organized the way I'd like it to, but it's there.
yeah. Yeah, because it's like you start to, and this is why I like the writing or typing or keeping records of your dreams, because you can start to witness your own patterns, say with like certain moon phases and like, or certain signs of the moon, especially if you know your birth chart. So like you and I both have Libra that rules the 12th house, and the 12th house is a place of dreams as well in the unconscious realm. And so we can see if there's possibly a pattern there when the moon is in Libra. And so, of course, today the moon is in Libra today, and it peaked at her waning gibbous phase, right? So this is like the phase after the full moon in which the moon starts to like disseminate the light,
Mhm.
right? Disseminate the
Yep.
energy,
It's
or
a
disseminate.
disseminating phase.
Yeah, disseminating phase. Yep, that's
Yeah.
another name for it. So that's important to note, right? And along
Yeah.
with where am I at in my menstrual cycle, and how does that connect with the moon and the dreams that are showing up in the patterns? So it's just like if you're into like patterns and seeing all of that stuff like this, it's so, oh my gosh, there's so much energy in that.
My goal is to get all of these like written down over time, but I have to do it in slow,
Oh,
like slowly.
same. I mean, it took me literally like, I mean, so I'm 39. It took me like 30, 37 years to start writing my dreams. Like I would write them here and there, but
you,
like so a
you
little
are
bit.
39?
Yeah, did you not know? I thought I told you how old
You
I was.
look like you like I know age is whatever stupid. I don't like acknowledge it too much, but I like, can't believe that.
Yeah, I'm about to enter 40, so it's a whole thing. Well, I'm not about to. I just turned 39 in January, but
Yeah, don't rush that. Like
I'm completing a decade. Right. I'm gonna enjoy 39. Yes.
and
So,
look
but
great.
it took me a really long time to write my dreams. And I've been dreaming like pretty vividly all my life. So yeah, it takes time. But I mean, once you start doing it, as someone where it took me a really long time to get in the flow of it, like once you start doing it and like do it for a moon cycle, do it for 3 moon cycles, you get so much, just, oh my goodness, so much
Yeah.
information, so much insight into your own like patterns, your own dream patterns, hormonal patterns. If you are someone who doesn't menstruate, who doesn't bleed, like by keeping track of your dream cycle with the moon cycle, you can see your own patterns, like your own hormonal patterns in connection to the moon. So you can connect with your own moon phase.
And the
Or
emotions in your dreams, I'm sure.
yeah,
Like
absolutely.
that is so important.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm drinking tea every night. That's as far as I've got. It's that's a goal.
So it's like we're all human. I wax and wane. So not, I used to, when I really got into it, I would like have the whole bedtime ritual. And so when I do the dream circles during eclipse seasons, I'm like pretty strict about
Okay.
it, or at least I start out that way. And so, and then we're doing it all together. So it's good to see like how, it all flows. But usually like I wax and wane with it. But I try to, when I make a commitment, oh wow, that was weird. When I made a commitment to like write my dreams, I try to do it for a moon cycle just so I can get an idea of like the patterns.
Yeah.
So I guess we should get into the
Yeah.
dreams. All right. So are you ready?
I am absolutely
Okay.
ready.
So this is a dream from this morning. It's a little silly. I have no idea. Well, no, I kind of have an idea of what it means. But so it was from this morning, February 28th of 2024. As I said, the moon reached her waning gibbous phase or disseminating phase in Libra. and it's my cycle day 11. So I'm like at the end of the follicular phase, like coming up to ovulation, right? Okay, so I was in a house and there was a slight feeling of it being haunted, like I didn't want to be alone. I was there with two other ladies. We were rooming there as we had an event or performance in the area. I was actually doing a presentation. The first half was a public movie or documentary, and the second half was a reading. I was really happy with the production of the movie. I couldn't wait for people to see it. Specifically, Steve, the recording manager of the organization. I was so impressed as there was music and everything in the documentary. Coming back to the house, I really wanted to shower, but wanted to do it before the owner got home. For some reason, I wanted to shower in her bathroom. I remember one of the ladies was telling me, which is a friend, this person was a friend in my waking life. So she was telling me how to clean it as soon as I finished with the shower. It was a rule, I guess. And right as I was about to get in the shower, the owner pulled up to the house. I decided to take a shower in the other bathroom. The two ladies assured me that it was fine to use a shower even if the owner was here. I just had to clean it. I still decided against it. Fast forward to the next scene. Um, Wait, hold on. Sorry, one sec. What did I? Okay, so I was like, what did I write here? Okay, fast forward to the next scene. I still attempt to take a shower. However, this time I'm outside and one of my ex-boyfriends is following me, not in a creepy way. He's just driving, slow talking to me while I'm walking. So I plan to take a shower. This is so weird with this shower situation. Okay. So I plan to take a shower, but people are watching me. I'm beginning to not care if people see me shower. I know I will be publicly watched. I want it to feel sexy, and I remember that I'm not properly groomed. I could use a wax, yet I still don't care. At some point, Chloe and all right, at some point, Chloe and Kim Kardashian show up and want to help me. We are friends and they want my show to be good. They are connected to my show in some way. They don't tell me how they plan to help. I will just know in the moment. As I'm getting ready to undress to get in the shower, there's a crowd of people around me, like super fanning me. All I could think about is how I'm not groomed. And I put groomed in quotations. Okay. As I step into the shower, I'm stepping in, slowly undressing. The shower then becomes a stage and I'm wearing a sheer black top and black boy short underwear. The stage is like a floating inflatable stage. There's music playing and a few people there as if we're about to have a competition. So there are people watching and then there's like other people there on the stage as if there's like a dance competition or something. I look to my left and there's a stage beside the one I'm on. Chloe, Kim, and Courtney are there. When I see them, I know exactly what to do. The music starts and we get low to the ground. It's our dance routine. The other people, a guy and a lady, try to keep up with us, but they couldn't. The guy almost fell off the inflatable stage at one point. The Kardashians wanted to help me become more popular and sexy. At some point, another friend of mine showed up, and we were just all having fun doing dance routines on this inflatable stage. I had a moment to talk to Courtney, and she expressed that with just them being there, the show, just being there on the show, my show, and myself would become really popular. I feel their help was truly genuine. We were friends. And that's how I remember. That's like all I remember from it. And then the emotions of the dreams were nervousness and excitement. And I say the dream symbol was the shower, but then, yeah, it was the shower and then maybe the stage. Um, and then the theme was like popularity and being seen, right? So,
That was, you're gonna, I love that. Um, right off the bat, I want to bring up the consistencies with the dream that you talked about being by the lake. I'm seeing a
oh, yeah.
lot of parallels from that dream to this dream. So the water, the use of water, the fear, the like that floating um
Uh,
with the floating island rock thing that was in your dream, like that kind of level of maybe like instability with the what you were trying to be on top of.
yeah.
stay afloat of. I do see a similarity too with even, the excitement over doing this public thing, the nervousness of being like seen by the people and not being exactly how you want to be if you're going to be watched.
Yeah.
But continuing on with this experience and having fun and like overcoming that.
Yeah.
Like there seems to be a lot of parallels with this dream and that dream, even though they're like complete opposites. Like there's
Right.
many parallels, and I find that so interesting. Specifically, the floating aspect, like almost the instability of the ground you're on top of. I find that very interesting, along with the water. Um, I do love that this time you really had like maybe people you A, either look up to, B, just enjoy watching, C, just relate to their popularity, kind of like helping you through it.
Yeah.
Like it was just your one friend, but this time you kind of have a group of people kind of like helping you rise up. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a funny dream. When I woke up, I was so, firstly, I was like, what was that? But I was so amused. Like, it was so funny. It was amusing. And then when I started to reflect on it, I was like, okay, I kind of see where this is going. And I was just really happy with that dream. It was a very profound message for me personally, and it was really fun in the dream. And I think like kind of what stood out to me is, those dreams, the common dream of people showing up in a place naked,
Yeah.
like they're on stage and they're just like, oh my, like I know a popular scene is like at high school or something, at school,
Yeah.
where you show up naked. And so it kind of gave me that vibe, not necessarily the feeling, but just like that type of dream that I haven't ever had a dream like that before. But it was like, it was interesting because I'm just like the whole, I'm not ready yet. Like I'm not groomed. Like I don't care about being naked or whatever, but like I'm not in the way that I want to be seen.
Yeah.
And that speaks so loudly for myself and like all the Capricorn in my chart and the things that I do. And just like even the Aquarius, like being seen and heard, it's just like, oh, the Scorpio rising. It's like, I love sharing, but like showing up is like a lot, even though I make myself do it. And so I think there was like a deeper, like, there's like deeper guidance in me showing up and stepping into something that I, feel uncomfortable, but I feel inspired to do. So it was a really good dream. I was really excited to share it. And yeah, so thank you that. And I did not make any correlation to that dream. And now, like, hearing you say that, I see the similarities and I'm like, whoa, like it's like finding that solid
Yeah.
ground in the midst of like uncertainty, or just things are like kind of like wobbly, but I have like, this container, and I also have support, from people that, love me or are friends with me and everything. So that was really
Yeah.
good.
It's like a subconscious reminder that time and time again, you push through whatever difficulty may be in your life that you're experiencing and come up on top. You always push yourself and get through
Yeah.
every single time. You
Yeah.
always will. It's such a cool, I love that. I love the parallels. I love that you felt so strong and happy and confident, excited. I thought that was an awesome dream.
Yeah, that was fun. And it's so funny that the Kardashians, specifically Kim and Chloe too, I would say I'm like, why do they always show up in my dreams? Like as a spirit guide. Like now they're officially, after this dream, I'm like, okay, they're officially spirit guides. Because whenever they show up in my dreams, it's like something kind of this nature where it's like almost like a cheerleader, or
Yeah.
yeah, it's really, so
Well,
I'm
even
like, okay.
looking at them as people, like I've watched the show.
I
I
grew up
enjoy.
with the show pretty much. So like it's my guilty pleasure. So yeah.
Yes, it's guilty pleasure, but they kind of, they have the ability to kind of do what they want and push themselves and have these opportunities. And it's
Yeah.
because of that they have a confidence and they have a like kind of go-getter mentality and do as much as you can to get that goal, and because they have that, energy, it's nice to have that on your side,
Yeah.
especially if you're feeling not super awesome with
Yeah.
yourself. Like times where I really need that type of person who
Yeah.
is like, just fucking get up and
Right.
go do it. Just
Right. And it's
go,
like
literally
being
have fun
in
with
her,
it.
like your vulnerability or the vulnerability of being seen and
Yeah,
heard, like the biggest thing, because like all of their shit is out there,
yeah,
right? I don't know who else is like all of their shit is out there like that for over a decade,
yeah.
right? So it's like if they can do it, I can show up in the ways that I need to show up. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of how I process that. So
I love that. I love that. I think that's amazing. I'm gonna do my Kim K dream. I'm just warning you right now.
yeah, get a pen so I can take notes.
The energy is not great.
No, but I like. I was really hoping that you were gonna share. I was really hoping that you're gonna share this. So yeah.
When you mentioned that you had that dream, I was like, oh, I have to. I have to now. I'm
Right.
gonna ask, but
Try
I
to
have.
sync it up. We try to sync the dreams up. Okay, cool.
Yes. There's
Okay.
like a. Let me know when you're
I'm
ready, and
ready.
then I'll start.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm ready to go.
All right. So I had this dream January 8th of this year.
Okay.
So I had dreamt that I was doing a photo shoot with Kim Kardashian. Like not in the photos, but like I was helping out. So my
Okay.
job was to hold her son, like who's like really young, and like wait until they cue me to bring her or him in. And it was inside of this, like it almost felt like a school castle type of place that you would find in like Europe or something. And it was a K through 8 like dorming school, like a way school. And we were doing this shoot in a greenhouse in the middle of this school, and it was just corn stalks. Like it was basically being in an indoor cornfield, which adds up. I don't think they would want to go outside and do
Right.
like a cornfield shoot. Like they want it to be like in an enclosed, private like thing.
Right.
So that's just like the setting of the dream. The vibe was off from the start. So I was on standby taking care of the one of the youngest kids. The director and the photographer of the shoot wanted to do something really messed up. So they shaved Kim's head and covered her in blood to give the illusion of her head being cut off. But the child I was attending to was so afraid he couldn't stop crying. He had to be almost like only like 3 at most. So I carried him away to calm him down, and then I brought him back over. But then the photographer actually cut off her head, and everyone started screaming. We all scattered trying to find an exit, but it was locked. Like all the doors were locked. We weren't able to leave. I was so upset just thinking how I needed to quit this job, that I do not represent this kind of violence, and I do not support murder. So we were trapped, and I kept walking up the halls and like kind of just like wiggling the doorknobs and trying to get into whatever bedroom I could get into that was available. And this one door was kind of cracked. So I go in, and at this point I like not I this is my dream self. I just needed to get away. I didn't have the kid with me anymore. I don't know where he went. It wasn't my responsibility. I was out of there. I like real people would have brought the kid with me, but dream me just was like fucking yeet. But so I go into this room, and it's just these two like 14-year-old girls who are hanging out doing homework on their laptops or whatever. I close the door, I lock it, and I pull like the dresser up, and I'm like, we need to get out of here now. So I go over to their windows, and they're like huge against the radiator. The radiators, these types of radiators that are like angled down and they're flat. So they're not like the radiators that are open, rectangular, like what you see in America. It's these weird, like, I don't know, kind of like a half a house looking thing. So the windows are huge, and it's icy out. so cold. So I'm trying to lift the window and it's not pushing up. I keep pushing with all my might, and finally it starts to crack open. I'm like, oh, fucking thank God. So I push it up as far as I can get it, which is probably maybe like this big, like enough for someone to crawl out of it, but um, not enough for me to feel comfortable. So I tell the girls around me, I'm like, give me your sheets. Because it's pretty far down. The drop is pretty far. It's probably on the second story or third. So I'm like, give me all your sheets, all your blankets. I start knotting them and tying them to create this rope. And I tie it on like the edge. There's like a twisty thing to the radiator. I tie it on that. I throw it down. It reaches like almost the bottom. I'm like, that's good enough for me. And because there's not much time, I'm not going to add more. So I'm like, let me go first because I need to make sure it's safe for you guys. So I climb into it and I can feel the shift from like the warmth of the room. I can feel like the kind of like burning radiator on my legs as I'm climbing on it to get to this window because there's no other way around it. And then the shift into the outside the window where it's cold and snowy and iced. And I start climbing down the side of the window or side of the uh, outside wall to the building.
Mm-hmm.
And it's icy, so I can kind of feel my feet slipping. And I slowly get down, and because there's like a 5 foot or so, some kind of big gap between where it ends and where the floor is, I jump. And I'm like, all right, it's good. It's safe. You guys can come down. It held my weight. You're younger than me, you weigh less than me. Like this, come down now. And I'm standing there waiting for them and kind of guiding them down. And there are these kids kind of riding their bikes from behind the building up to the front. And I look and I can see that the front gate is open. So I'm like, all right, hurry up, hurry up. The gate is open. Let's get it going. Like we have almost no time. Like we don't know what else is going to happen. So the first one jumps down, the second one climbs down and then jumps. And I'm like, book it out. I don't care where you go, just go because it's not safe here. And I start running out the gate. And it's like, as soon as I leave the gate, I have this weight off my shoulders. Like, it literally feels like a building was taken off of my shoulders. Like, it was so heavy to just being like able to breathe again. And I'm standing there. I can feel like the coldness in my lungs. I'm looking around. It's like nearing dusk, but not quite there yet. And there's the parking lot that we're in outside of the gate. And I'm just looking at the city, which to me kind of looks like where I live, looking off into the city. And I'm walking because I no longer feel like I'm in that need to get out of here right now vibe. And there are parents starting to pull up. And then I wake up.
Hmm.
It was a lot.
Yeah, so speaking of similarities between dreams, I'm getting like I think it was the last dream you shared as far as like in that house. I think it
I think
was
so.
with Mary, and there was like the temperature difference. There was like a lot of
Yeah.
duality where it was like cold and like the warm inside, the cold outside. So I got like that's something that was standing out to me. And you know how, and in that particular live, we were talking about how the people in your dream can really reflect some aspect of you. Like it's like your unconscious self is putting these particular people or personalities in the dream to like reflect, to be a reflection of you. Right. And so that's just a good exercise, like to look at every single person in the dream to see how like that what's that reflecting to you. So I didn't really think about Kim and like the person that chopped her head off, but more so starting with the kid, where it's like in of course your waking life you wouldn't do that. However, it's like is there something about your childhood that you might be like abandoning, like
That's a good point.
possibly, yeah, possibly like something, whether it's like a memory or like a belief, because I'm like the head's being chopped off, right? So it's like that whole conscious connection, the mind, whatever the head represents, like that's gone. So it's like, ooh, the head's not even there. I don't have to like remember that. I don't have to recall that, right?
Yeah.
And it's starting with like I'm nurturing this adolescence, right? I'm nurturing this child, or like not necessarily nurturing, but I'm caretaking, right?
Yeah.
Caregiving, whatever. And so that's something that kind of stood out to me. Then from there, it's like this running point, right? So then it's almost like you're traveling through time where it's like, okay, here was the kid. And then now moving forward, I'm in this room with the teenagers, right? And they're doing their thing. Like they're kind of like, oh, whatever. It's like they don't really feel the sense of urgency.
Yes.
And like it's like you're guiding them. It's like, hey, we got to do this. And so it's almost like it's like your future self meeting that adolescent part where it's like, hey, wake up, pay attention, like we got to do this thing. And there's just like some sense of like not necessarily checked out, but kind of that vibe, right? I mean, it's typical teenager,
Yeah.
personalities. And yeah, it was just interesting that, I mean, I guess what the other things that I noted was like the shift in temperature, which is like warm, like comfort. And then when I think about the warm internal shelter, it's like, oh, the comfort of that, but that's not comfortable anymore. And then you go outside and it's cold, but it's like that breath of fresh air. Like you get outside the gate and it's just like, I feel safe. So it's like something about, again, this parameter, this house, this home, this property that like seems like it doesn't feel comfortable, it doesn't feel safe. But on this side, I feel safe,
Yeah.
right? So it's like, and if the house represents at some points it can represent your consciousness and like the different compartments and things within your consciousness. It's like something here doesn't feel safe, but over here it feels safe. Or maybe you feel safe to connect with certain aspects over here instead of like in this thing, right?
Yeah. And I do notice like the consistency of being in a situation that I have to escape from and find the freedom. That's a consistent thing, and I feel like that is very much reflected of my childhood to my adolescent to my adulthood, because
Mm,
first of all, the kid in my dream was around 3, and that's when I had my real first lucid dream that I can remember.
damn.
So like that
Wow.
consistency alone is very interesting. But then also the fact that it kind of goes through that timeline, which, I had a very difficult time mentally and emotionally throughout almost my entire life until I got to maybe like 25, 26, when things started to really loosen up.
Yeah.
And now I feel that I've reached a point where I feel the like shackles of my mental turmoil kind of released and gone. I just There's a light to everything. It's
Yeah.
not heavy as it was before. I still go through hard times. I still experience, day to day, but it's nothing
Yeah.
like
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 almost got that trend
that.
sequence of, like your growth.
Yeah,
Because you brought up of like, oh, it looks like where you are now, like you're looking at that horizon and there's a different feeling, and it's just like it's almost like I felt that relief in that moment. And so yeah, you can see it's like your unconscious self kind of gave you like just like a sequence of events of like how you have evolved like over time.
yeah.
Love that.
I that. It's very interesting though that like I don't understand, for me personally, I don't understand so much the Kim K other than like
Yeah.
maybe was looking out on Instagram and she popped up. For me it wasn't like a helpful thing.
Yeah.
Like for you it's very helpful and
Yeah.
very enriching and good and happy, but for me it was just kind of like a side.
Wait, you probably saw like a picture of her or something before you went to bed. Yeah. I
Yeah.
think me last night, like I was like scrolling on Instagram or something and I like saw that. Um, and that's something that happens often too, where it's just like your consciousness, like it's kind of like almost like a dump or that's like there. So it kind of inserts itself. That happens a lot.
Well, it's just
They
like
call it,
if you write down your affirmations for dreaming, you'll probably dream that night because you're seeing it, like you're having visualization. If you see something on Instagram, you might not even realize because you're just doom scrolling or like mindlessly passing it, but your mind kind of like pulls
yeah,
that, captures it in, and it shows up in your dreams. That's
Yeah.
why I love dreams so much,
Yeah.
because there's so many aspects to it. It's not just one thing, and people don't really know, like, they don't really know to the extent of what it is. It's a mystery, and I love that about it so much. So we can really pull it in so many different directions.
Yeah. No, absolutely. This is great. So the next live, I kind of want to chat about lucid dreams because I want to hear like your experience with lucid dreams. That's like one of my, I wouldn't say expertise, but that's like one of my things where I remember the most as far as like dreams that I've had, like all the lucid dreams I've remembered. And two, I can actually kind of, I guess not invoke is maybe not the right word, but I can like basically conjure lucid dreams if I want to. And yeah, I've just had some really interesting experiences. So I definitely would be excited to hear your
Yeah,
experience.
absolutely. And lucid dreaming is something that is just a kind of a question mark for me, because every dream I have is a lucid dream, and very stubborn with the way that I involve myself in it. So it's going to be an interesting conversation. I'm
Oh,
very
yes. I'm so excited.
whoever if anybody joins us, it'll be fun to hear their perspectives, and even just like, reaching out to the audience, the people watching, like just knowing their experiences too, because I'm sure everybody's just so different and unique and exciting.
Yeah. No, I'm really excited. Yeah. So, trying to think if there's anything else that I wanted to add. Do you have any last things that you want to add either about like the dreams that we've shared or about dream recall, you think?
I feel as though doing these lives every week has helped. I do remember my dreams often, if not every day, but just having these conversations as frequently as, once a week or once every other week, I feel that I'm able to just remember them a little better than I usually do, be
Yeah.
more than I usually am. I really like kind of like open.
Have like a really good memory though on your dreams.
Yeah.
Like I feel like you have a strong dream like practice, even though it might not be like what a practice may look like, say textbook. But I love like talking about dreams because like you have like a whole like I feel like a library. At least that's what
it,
I
it
feel.
it's really, like I said, it really just feels like I am like closing my eyes in this universe and opening in another one. Like their memories, like they're as strong as my waking memories, and often
Yeah.
like inner like they I remember my dreams a lot more than I do my memories at
Yeah.
times. And especially with having like prophetic dreams like we've talked about before, like it's so interesting. I almost feel like it's not really a practice, it's just like my existence. I it's almost like when I was really young, I decided that I wanted to be there more than I wanted to be here.
Yeah.
And
No,
I
I
stuck
that's
with
not have any Pisces, but it makes sense that you have like all of that in the 12th house, like a stellium in the 12th house in Libra. So it's kind of like the same energy. Do you have Venus in Libra?
yes.
Like what are,
Uh,
oh, so you do have Venus.
I have my Sun, Mercury, Venus. Oh my God, I'm blanking right now. But
You,
I feel
you just have to send me your chart
I'm
info.
going to have to.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can't believe I haven't like asked for it.
I,
By now.
I will. But I also feel like Pluto being in my first house
Yeah,
plays a really big role too.
yeah, I can relate to that. I definitely can relate to that.
It's
Um, yeah, yeah. I have Venus and Mars and Pisces in the fifth house. So as far as like escaping and like with the Scorpio rising, so like Mars traditionally is a ruler of Scorpio, so it's like the like helmsman or the navigator of my life, like Mars planet. And so being that it's in Pisces with Venus in the fifth house, like I have a tendency like I love living in a fantasy world. I don't care. Like, that's my thing. Like, I love daydreaming. I love dreaming. And so, any form of escaping, and this is why I love lucid dreams so much, because I can kind of command, or I can command, like what I'm experiencing in that time. And so I am really good at anything that involves like escaping this reality. So trance meditations, visualization, just like anything that kind of gets me out of the body, I'm really good at. So my biggest challenge is being in the body and being in the physical reality.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I absolutely relate to all of that.
Absolutely. And I even feel like because my 12th house is an air sign, it's Libra, like I'm always up in the clouds. On my sun sign being in Libra in the 12th house, like I am gone. Like I am in
Yeah.
my own world, like just completely. And I think that's one of the reasons why I had such a like growing up, I had a hard time with school. So
Yeah.
my problem was focusing
Yeah.
because
Uh,
my brain wasn't
especially with
brain
Mercury.
in a daydream realm.
Yeah,
Like I wasn't there.
yeah, you're like, what is this? Like, where am I?
Yeah.
That makes so much sense having Mercury there in the 12th house with the sun. It's like, yeah, I can totally see that. So, but I just like want to keep talking and talking and talking with you about all this stuff. But
I
we'll be here.
know.
Hopefully, you'll be back here next week
I
with me. um, and we can talk some more about all of this. But yeah, so I want to talk about lucid dreams next week, if that sounds good.
100%
We can
yes.
both share our experiences. I would love to hear your interpretation of one of my dreams. Um, so yeah, I guess that's all.
Excited. Thank you so much for having me again. I always enjoy these so much.
Absolutely. Well, thank you everyone for watching live, watching the replay. I would love to hear your comments, your questions, your tips and experiences with Dream Recall. And yeah, so we'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.